Welcome to CyberSoul, the podcast where we dive deep into the digital chaos, explore the messy truths behind cybersecurity, and ask the questions no one else seems to be asking. I'm your host, Keelin Conant, and around here, we don't pretend to have all the answers. What we do have is curiosity, bold conversations, and a mission to understand how we stay secure and human in a world that feels increasingly hacked, digitally and emotionally. Each week, we sit down with the people building, breaking, defending, and redefining the future. Whether it's quantum computing, ransomware, disinformation, or the people behind the breach, we're going there. So buckle up. It's time to dig beneath the firewalls and into the soul of cyber. Welcome to the very first episode of cybersoul.io, the podcast where we dive deep into the wild, weird, and downright soul-stirring world of technology. Sure, cybersecurity guards the gates against the chaos, but I'm all about the heartbeats behind the code. How we build it, use it, get shaped by it, and yeah, sometimes get burned by it. I'm your host, Keelin Siobhan Clark, and let me share a quick peek into my story so you know I've actually been in the tech trenches for quite a while, but I've also lived on the human side of it too. For over 20 years, I've been knee-deep in the tech world, starting with getting my hands dirty in the tech trenches, really focusing on SaaS, demoing, testing, and troubleshooting software in the early days. I worked with several now renamed companies, some of them you might know, and you might know me from them, like Somewhere Now, OnSolve, where we offered one of the first emergency notification systems. That company was born out of the Twin Towers 9/11 and the first tower not being able to connect with the second tower. Then I moved on. I worked with Excelis, which was a defense contractor in the Valley in Los Angeles. We built radar systems both virtually and on the floor. And way back in the day, where I got my first tech job was with Virtus, where we were really at the forefront of geo-mapping strategies, utilizing and building tons of marketing data way before AI databases were even at the forefront. But I'm not just an accidental techie. I'm also a creative with a bachelor's degree in creative writing and an executive master's in business management. In 2018, after the unexpected loss of my mom, I actually channeled my grief into creativity, briefly retiring from the tech world. That same year, I founded Liberty Empowerment, coaching entrepreneurs to conquer video and Zoom anxiety, unlock confidence, and grow businesses with their heart. That company I had for several years, including during COVID, where it was such a joy for me to support anxiety-ridden entrepreneurs who thought that their businesses had to shut down because the world had. And I had the opportunity to teach so many people how to show up confidently on video. I also wrote The Tech Carnival, Your Ticket to Business Success. This is just a really fun short book where I share insightful anecdotes from my professional history, blending humor, empowerment, practical tips for small to medium businesses to help better navigate their tech. Sounds a lot like this podcast too. And if you're interested in the book, you can find it on Amazon just for a few bucks. And that's called The Tech Carnival, Your Ticket to Business Success. And now to the present day, I am the Senior Solutions Advisor at Alvaca. I support businesses in designing tailored strategies to help fortify their systems after ransomware incidents. I've seen tech evolve from clunky servers to cloud-based empires, and I know what it takes to keep them secure and resilient. So after all these years, I have realized that I can blend my cybersecurity and SaaS experience with high-performance coaching, empowering leaders to thrive in chaos. While I have a cyberpunk brain and a rainbow heart with a passion to make tech human again, because I really do believe that behind every system, there is a soul. Human beings are still creating, generating, and running our technology. So whether you're a CEO juggling boardroom battles or a grandma who's mastered Candy Crush but wonders why your email is suddenly asking for your bank details, this show is for you. We're keeping it playful, casual, and committed to cutting through the jargon so that everyone gets it. Think of me as your quirky guide through the digital jungle. Part tech strategist, part storyteller, part heart-centered coach. Okay, buckle up, because today we're kicking off with an intro that'll have you hooked, educated, and hopefully pretty fired up. Let's start with the big why. And why is cybersecurity a non-negotiable part of it? not just for tech giants, but for all of us building, using, and being transformed by it. For companies, a single breach in your tech stack isn't just a headache, it's a catastrophe. We're talking billions of dollars in losses, like the 2023 MoveIt hack that hit over 1,000 organizations and cost an estimated $10 billion in recovery alone. Reputations were shuttered, stocks plummeted, and legal fines piled up under laws like GDPR or CCPA. But CEOs, it's actually not all doom. Strong security woven into your tech isn't a cost, it's just an investment that builds trust, fuels innovation, and keeps your empire standing tall while you focus on creating the next big thing. And for you, everyday citizens, it's personal. It doesn't matter if you're a CEO or a mom, anybody these days is touched by tech. And all of our tech is our data. It's that mix of photos, passwords, and private chats. It's your digital soul, powering the tech we build and use daily. So a breach with that can lead to identity theft, where crooks rack up debt in your name, or worse, medical fraud that messes with your health records. There was a 2017 Equifax breach. It exposed 147 million people's info, leading to years of frozen credit and stolen lives. As citizens, we're not just users, we're the gold mine shaping tech's evolution. Data is the new oil, harvested, sold on the dark web for pennies, and used to fuel everything from targeted scams to deep fake nightmares that affect how we connect and trust. But here's the kicker. We only hear about the reported attacks. Experts estimate that up to 90% of breaches go unreported, especially smaller ones, because companies fear the backlash or individuals hide in embarrassment. It's like an iceberg. What we see, at least in my industry, is tiny compared to the massive threat lurking below, influencing how we can build a safer tech for tomorrow. Now let's zoom in on ransomware, which is where I work at Alvaca. It's what we help companies recover from. It's kind of the bad boy of cybercrime that's evolved from a nerdy experiment to a global empire, showing how tech's dark side can hit us where it hurts. Quick history lesson. It started in 1989 with the AIDS Trojan, a floppy disk virus that locked files and demanded $189 via snail mail to a Panama P.O. box. Cute, right? Now fast forward to 2013, CryptoLocker burst onto the scene, using unbreakable encryption and Bitcoin for untraceable payments. Boom, ransomware goes pro. By 2017, WannaCry cripples hospitals and factories worldwide, infecting 200,000 computers in 150 countries and causing $4 billion in damage. Today, 2025, it's a monster, with attacks up 93%. But ransomware isn't just code anymore. It's actually a full-fledged business model where ransomware as a service, or RaaS, is completely on the market. Imagine this kind of like Uber for hackers. Criminal masterminds build the ransomware toolkit, complete with user-friendly dashboards, customer support, yes, really, and even affiliate programs. They rent it out to affiliates, the wannabe crooks who infiltrate networks. The devs take 20 to 30% cut of the ransom, which can hit millions. Groups like Conti or Lockbit operate like startups. They have HR, recruiting hackers, marketing, leaking data to pressure victims, and even bug bounties for improving their malware. It's rampant because it's low risk, high reward, no need to code from scratch, just point, click, and extort. In 2024, RaaS gangs pulled in over $1 billion in Bitcoin ransoms per the FBI. It's pretty scary, right? But kind of entertainingly evil, like a cybervillain syndicate from a James Bond flick, reminding us we need heart-centered tech to outsmart this. So let's talk about extortion really quickly. It's not stopping at locked files. Enter social media shakedowns, where hackers snag your pics, chats, or secrets and threaten to blast them online. It's the ultimate human hack. preying on embarrassment and our instinct to hide, affecting how we use tech in our daily lives. In 2022, there was a Twitter breach. Remember those guys way before X? Stolen data from 20 million users led to doxing waves where folks paid up to avoid public humiliation. Or those sextortion scams hitting teens and adults alike, faking evidence of webcam hacks to demand cash. We bury our heads, pay quietly, or maybe even suffer in silence. But that silence fuels the fire. Our data's gold, and these crooks are mining it 24/7 because we don't even know the full scope. Only about 1 in 4 extortion cases get reported, leaving a shadow economy thriving in dark, forcing us to rethink how we build and protect our digital worlds. So how do we fight back in this landscape? Tools like firewalls and antiviruses are great, but let's be real, they're band-aids on bullet wounds. Throwing tech at a problem without changing habits? That's like putting a lock on your door but leaving the window wide open. Your best defense? Your own intuition, that gut feeling when an email screams, fishy, too urgent, too good to be true. But you should be trusting your own intuition. Studies from cybersecurity firms like KnowBe4 show that human awareness training reduces successful attacks by up to 70%. We're not robots. We're souls with instincts. But to truly get ahead, we need to flip the script. Education, yes, but also systematic shifts in how we build tech. Multi-factor authentication everywhere, zero trust models where nothing's assumed safe, and AI that predicts threats before they hit. These all sound great, but the complications and the human cost are taking their toll. So my question this season is, as the threat actors keep mining our data, is it too late? Are they too far ahead? And I don't think we are. After a couple of the upcoming guests that I've spoken to, it doesn't sound like all hope is lost. However, we do need to start thinking about more heart-centered ways of approaching this. We are playing catch up. And in a few episodes, we're going to start talking about quantum computing, that sci-fi beast on the horizon. By 2030, quantum tech could crack today's encryption like an egg, making RSA keys obsolete. IBM's already got 1,000 quid-bit machines. Imagine hackers wielding that to decrypt everything from bank vaults to national secrets. It's a complicated mess. But we as humans, creativity is our magic wand. Let's think ethical hackers turning sci-fi into solutions, like quantum-resistant algorithms being developed now by NIST, blending innovation with the human touch. And get this. This is something I learned right before I started working with Alvaca, and it blew my mind. In many countries, hacking us, the US, isn't even illegal, as long as it's state-sponsored. So nations like Russia or North Korea treat it like espionage, which is fair game. But there are heart-centered leaders rising up, folks like Kevin Mitnick, the reformed hacker turned advocate, or policymakers pushing global cyber norms. They're blending tech with soul, using creativity to build resilient systems, magic-like innovations to outsmart quote-unquote villains, and even sci-fi inspiration like neuromorphic chips mimicking the human brain for unbreakable security. So this season on cybersoul.io, we are exploring it all. We're going to talk about the jaw-dropping costs, trillions annually per cybersecurity ventures, the gritty recovery stories from backups to therapy for traumatized teams, and the raw human impact, the stress, the lost jobs, the shattered trust. But most importantly, I'm going to ask the hard questions. How do we get ahead if we're building better tech? Is quantum the end game or our revolution? Can we infuse heart into code to win this war and create tech that truly serves us? Maybe someday in this world, the nation states and the espionage, maybe we'll just all play on the same team at some point. That's my rainbow heart for you guys. So those are my thoughts, and I really hope you'll stick around because there is a lot to cover. And while I'm starting with speaking about ransomware restoration and cybersecurity, I will have guests on that are going to talk about other situations regarding technology. And if you have any ideas or if there's a subject you'd really like to explore, I hope that this can be an open conversation. I will read every comment and review. My email address is Keelin at thecybersoul.io. And I really look forward to going on this adventure with you. We've got experts, wild tales, and tips that'll empower you, whether you're running a Fortune 500 or just scrolling safely. So please hit submit, share with your grandma or your boardroom buddy, and let's soul up our tech world. Until next time, stay intuitive, stay secure. This is cybersoul.io, where tech meets the human spirit. Peace out for now.